Hello, everybody. In our parsha, Kadosh Baruch Hu sends a malach to Hagar to inform her that she will have a son named Yishmael, and then her son is described. V'hu yiyeh pere adam yado b'kol v'yad kol bo v'al pnei kol echav yishkon. So he's described as a pere adam. We tend to think of this as the equivalent, if you will, of a wilde chaya in a negative manner. But the truth is that there are a number of mefarshim who have difficulty with this, inasmuch as this is told within the context of a besora, of a news item that is ostensibly letova for the benefit of Hagar. So it would be highly unlikely, according to this school of thought, that Hagar would be told, guess what, good news, you're going to have a son, but he's going to be a vilda chai and an embarrassment to humanity. So therefore, there are those who understand that the appellation pere adam means sheyafri, the ksav, the Kabbalah, that he will be rather fruitful, or that he will be in an uncivilized area, sheyu b'nei midbar, as the Ramban and the Bechor Shar and others maintain. Or, as Rashi says, literally, they will be ohavei midbar v'tzad chayot. They will like the desolate desert area where they can go and hunt. Or, as the Chizkuni tells us, they will actually not be constrained to one small geographic area, but rather they will be merchants who go hither and thither all over the place in order to pursue a livelihood. In recent days, we have certainly had another understanding in terms of current events as to how the descendants of Yishmael can be described as Pere Adam. As the Radak tells us, the Ha'arviyim Heim Yishmaelim. The Medrash brings the opinion of Reish Lakish that they are Pere Adam, Shahakol Bozezin Mamon, V'hu Bozez Nefashot. Most people, when they go against others, they are in search of material benefit. They might rob, steal, and cheat for financial gain. But Yishmael and his descendants will be of the ilk to be bozez nefashot. They will actually want to strike out against other persons. Rav David C. Hoffman explains that Yishmael is not simply called a vilda chaya, because proper Hebrew would have been an Adam that is pera, that is wild, but rather it says pera Adam and not Adam pera, to suggest that in actuality it is not a human being with animal attributes, but rather Yishmael will be a pera. It will be a wild donkey that takes on the form of a human being. But as we have seen, Reish Lakish teaches us bozez nefashot, not just physically, but going after the spiritual as well. There's a fascinating Pirkei, the Rebbe Eliezer, where Rabbi Yishmael teaches us that in the future, Yishmael will do 15 things in Eretz Yisrael. Amongst them will be the building up of destroyed cities and fixing the breaches in the temple compound. And then it says, V'yivnu binyan heichal. They will build a structure on Har Habayit. When we think about it, this suggests that the battle between the descendants of Yishmael and Am Yisrael is not merely a physical battle. It's not about the conquest of a particular territory of Eretz Yisrael, but rather this is a battle of the spirit. And we should understand this in a historical context. The first who rose up against the Jewish nation were basically pagans and idol worshippers. And the whole rest of history is to bring humanity back to the ultimate universal belief in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Bimos HaMashiach. And so the Netziv tells us that actually the Makar HaEmunah Nitkabla Tchila Baroma. As far as the nations of the world are concerned, the source of belief was founded in Rome. Umisham nitpashta lekama umot ha'olam. And from there it spread to other nations, i.e., Christianity. V'hakol al shem Edom yikareh. And then the Netziv goes on to tell us, V'yadua mihein oivei emunat Edom. We know who the enemies of Christianity are. Umitnagdehem. Me'olam hi emunat Yishmael. It is Islam, the belief of the Ishmaelites. And so, in fact, if Christianity, which is the older sister of Islam, brought the pagans back to a belief in a supreme being, albeit with, so to speak, partnership, the Ishmaelites had an unadulterated belief in their Allah, in one supreme being, coming closer to the truths of Judaism than Christianity. The Netziv also notes that Kama umot ha'olam kavshu malchuyot tachtam kedei laharchiv mamlachtam. We've seen a number of nations that went out to do battle, to conquer additional lands in order to expand their sovereign territory. And as a result, lo bikshu lahashchit ela malachim v'sarim v'lo hahamon. In order to achieve this goal, they only sought to defeat the armies, the officers, the leaders, but they did not want to pursue genocide of an entire nation. They simply wanted to conquer additional territory. Lochein halochem b'shvil ha'emunah. One who fights on behalf of his religion, he operates differently. Hema lochamim u'ma'abdim kol mi she'eino ma'amin be'eloha kimotam. They are not willing to tolerate anyone who doesn't share the belief as they see it. They suffer no difference of opinion, no different ideology other than the belief and the religion that they support. But we are told that Hagar is informed that Yishmael al Penei Kol Echav Yishkon, he will dwell in the face of his brethren. But yet in Parshat Chayei Sarah, it doesn't say Yishkon, he will dwell, but al Penei Kol Echav Nafal, he shall fall, which many commentaries see as an adjective for Yishkon. But the Medrash tells us that we can resolve the contradiction between Yishkon and Nafal as follows. Ad shelo pashat yado beveit hamikdash Yishkon. Mi shepashat yado beveit hamikdash Nafal. Until he lays a hand against the site and the building of the temple, he will dwell. But once he strikes out against the sanctity of the temple compound, he shall fall. A variant of the Medrash is Ad shelo pashat yado b'Yisrael Yishkon, but the minute he strikes out against Am Yisrael, Nafal. We take comfort in the Ibn Ezra's approach to the wording of the description of Yishmael, Yado bakol, v'yad kol bo, which others interpret to mean that he will have active commerce, buying and selling with other peoples, says the Ibn Ezra, Yado bakol. Initially, Ishmael will conquer. His hand will be everywhere. But ultimately, Yad Kol Bo, ultimately Ishmael will be defeated. Halavai, that we see this recognized in Hera B'Yameinu. Shabbat Shalom.